Hey guys, it's Drew from Card of My Eye, and today we'll be creating a Halloween card using the Give a Hoot Cricket cartridge. It's not your everyday cartridge for a Halloween card, but I thought this little owl image would be really fun, and it's the first image in your cutting, and it's on page 28, and you're going to be cutting out your base layer, your top layer, and your two layers. So your owl one and the owl shift, and then the two layer and the layer shift. So I'm going to start off cutting my owl probably at around 3.5 inches, I'm thinking. Probably. So I'm just going to click on my owl, and you might be able to see it appear right here. The owl's right there. It's blinking on the camera, I don't know why though. And then make sure that my speed settings are at the correct setting, and my pressure as well. I always keep everything on max, and your blade needs to be set to max as well. I'm going to cut that out. Okay, I think that is a perfect size. Yeah, it is. I'm going to keep it at the 3.5 inches. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to be cutting out the layers at 3.5 inches. So I'm going to click the Shift Owl, and you're going to see the layer pop up here. And I'm going to cut out the owl layer. And I'm going to scroll down, and out of the green I'm going to cut out this top layer right here, not the bottom layer. So I'm going to click the Shift layer and the owl, and you could see that it's going to pop up right here with the cuts, and it's going to cut those out. Okay, you guys, now I'm going to press the oh my gosh, what button am I going to press? Oh well, I'm just going to go back up to the top. I was going to press the line return, but I forgot which button it was for a second there, and I'm going to go over to this cream colored cardstock, and I'm just going to keep my layer, make sure my shift is off, click on my owl, and cut that out. Okay guys, and I'm going to go to my workstation, and I'll meet you guys there. Bye everyone! Alrighty guys, so we have the little owl cut, and I already pieced it together. It was a really pretty simple cut. All I had to do was layer on top my orange on top of the black, if you could see that black twig there. And then I just layered. The hardest were probably the feet and the nose, but they were still pretty simple. And then I just layered on top of it the green as well as the cream colored pieces. And so that's my little owl, and again it was cut at 3.5 inches. And I'm going to start off with a piece of black cardstock cut in half from a 5.5 and 11, and I pre-scored it. Sorry about that guys. It's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock cut in half, so that you're going to have a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock, and then your card will end up being a 5.5 by 4.25 card. And I already pre-scored that, and I'm just going to use this little tool here. It's just a little tapered edged tool that I use because my bone folder's gone missing. And I have this piece of orange matting, which is the same exact orange that I used for the owl. And I'm just going to adhere that down using my adhesive, and this is just a Tombow Mono tape runner. So I'm just adding some adhesive onto there, and then I'm going to place my layer down on top of the card. I'm going to open up my card to do this. Alrighty, so I added on top of my layer, and as you can see it just creates a really nice border around it with the black cardstock. And I like working with my cards open when I create cards. And sorry about this jaggedy edge right here guys, I'm going to fix that later. And then I have some patterned paper from the Recollections Ravenhead Manor paper collection, and it's just one of the green damask colors. And then I also have this piece of cream cardstock, and the my layer was cut at 4 by 5.25, and then this is cut at 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm going to layer this piece, which is 1.5 by 3 3/4. So I'm just going to add some adhesive onto that, and I'm going to layer it onto the bottom of my patterned paper. And this will give me room for a stamped sentiment. And I'm not going to stamp a sentiment for this card. And I have a little tiny bit of overhang, so I'm just going to trim that off. Just with a pair of scissors. Alrighty, and then I'm going to take some of this really fun ribbon, and it's just some of this Details grosgrain ribbon, and I just got it at the Dollar Tree. It's a really great quality ribbon though. It's a really good, nice grosgrain. And then I'm just going to take it and flip it over, and I'm going to add some strips of adhesive down the sides. I'm kind of eyeballing where I think my ribbon's going to overlap. And then I'm laying on top of that my piece of grosgrain, just covering up the seam of those two cardstocks. And then I'm going to adhere it down onto my backing. So my ribbon looks something like this now, and it just looks a lot better than how it looked before. And then I'm going to add on my little owl, but I want to find a nice position for him. I'm thinking about right there will look really nice. And then I'm going to use some pop dots, and these are just some scrapbook adhesive square dimensionals, and I like these dimensionals. I'm just going to place a few on him, 5 of them, and I'm just going to peel them off, and they come off really easily, guys, so that's a really good advantage of these pop dots. And then I have my little sticky owl, and I'm just going to place my owl directly on to the layer of my card, and then I'm going to add some adhesive onto the back of this. And then you're going to have a really fun Halloween card for the Halloween season. And thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this super fun card. And don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Bye, everyone.